Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on SYNJ Syndication Incorporated. I wanted to do this one because I did a chart on it yesterday, and I don't know if it confused some people. Hopefully not, but I wanted to go over the daily chart and kind of what I was talking about more with the video charts. And sometimes these work a little bit better than just a simple annotated chart without any voices or anything like that. But to pretty much sum it up before I go in, short term, the pattern that you had was broken to the bearish side. However, long term, the pattern is still bullish and you're still within the pattern. So, because I was getting people saying, "Oh, should I sell now?" And the question is really more of what is your strategy? If you're in it for a longer term chart play, or you're in it for an investor or whatever, and you're using charts, then things are still fine, and I'll explain that. But if you're in it for just a quick trade, then the pattern broke to the downside. So it's not really should you get out. It's more of what is your strategy, and then what was your plan going into the trade? Because obviously I don't want to state the obvious, but a day trader is going to have a completely different plan than a swing trader would, and so forth. So keep that in mind. But as I had mentioned in that chart I did, we had a little short term, because keep in mind this is only focused on about 3 weeks, flag pattern here where we had, so at one point it looked like this. We had, here's our flag pole, this black line, and then we had our resistance line here and our support line there that were forming this flag. And then you can see yesterday broke to the downside of it, and that was in the short term a bearish sign. So that's what I mean. It comes down to what was your plan, what was your strategy going in. So in the short term it went bearish because it broke below this line here of the pattern. Also, if you see these two green lines that I've drawn as support levels, you can see that the price has been doing a good job of hanging right around this support area. So you couple that with the fact that the longer term pattern is still fine, then from an investor or long-term swing trader perspective, you still got a chance and there's still hope, and all that good stuff. So now let's draw the longer term pattern. Once again, we have this big flagpole here that was created on high volume, and then from there we have this downtrend line and we have this uptrend line. So what I'm going to do here is color code these, since I know there's just a bunch of black lines all over the place. This line here is going to be our resistance line. This is our support line, and then I'll even get the flagpole color coded here. So you can see now the overall pattern. Flagpole here, created on nice volume. This was back in early June, and then from there it's been sloping downwards. However, the lows have also been going up for the past 2 months or so. We got July and then August, and you can see that the price being right here is clearly still quite a ways above this lower Bollinger Band, excuse me, this trend line here. So there's plenty of room. The price could still technically fall down here and put in, let's say, a candle stick right here, and if it's above this area, then it would still be within this range, which is fine. The place where you don't want to see is if you start to get candles that are going below it and making lower lows. That's where even the longer term pattern has gone bearish. So hopefully that clarifies things up. In the short term, once again, as you can see by this pattern here, you've broken down through, so therefore it is bearish. Right here is where you broke down. However, in this longer term, you're still within this range. So don't confuse the two. And not to repeat myself over and over again, but the question goes back to, what is your plan? What is your strategy going into this? And that should answer what you should be looking to do. So just keep that in mind. If you're still believing in the company, then you obviously have no reason to sell. If you're more of a trader, then that may be different. But I can't sit here and tell you what to do. All I can say is from a charting perspective, short term it's gone bearish, but in the longer term pattern, it's still in the bullish pattern. So do whatever you want to do based on what your strategy is. Another note here on the daily, we got a bearish MACD crossover. So this needs to at least start to bottom out here in terms of the blue line going flat. The other thing to note is, yeah, we crossed down through, but we're still quite a bit of ways above this. So if we can put in a high or low down here on the MACD, that would then ultimately give us the ability to draw an uptrend line, which is an ideal situation. So keep that in mind. You did have a bearish crossover, but once again, the time where you'd really start to kind of get worried is if this low on the MACD was broken. But as you can see, there's still quite a bit of room before that would even happen. So that's all I really wanted to go over on the chart and get that all cleared up. Short term, you have broken through that pattern, but the long term, you're still in it. So just to trade accordingly, whatever your plan was going in, make the necessary steps. Once again, overall from the longer term pattern, it's still in business. So keep that in mind also. If you have any questions, please send me a message. I'd also encourage you to check out the link down in the post referring to the free ebook. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get free chart setups, free trading ideas, which have been doing pretty well, and a few other things, but it's all free, nice variety, and we've been doing some good job making some money and so forth, so I'd encourage you to check that out. Hopefully this lower trend line here holds for you longer term players, and we'll see what happens, but either way I'll be back to update this, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. Thanks for listening.